It has to be said, we've not really seen that. I mean, it equals Conte's worst loss for Chelsea, which was over a year ago against Arsenal.
Yeah, I think that's up there with the worst I've seen Chelsea since he's come in. Defensively all over the place.
Why do you think? Why would that happen after they've been pretty consistent?
They haven't had a settle back for now for, is it 10, 12 games? They seem to be changing it week in, week out. He doesn't seem to know his strongest three, what positions they should be in. Gary Cahill, 1 minute's left centre-back, then he's right centre-back. There's no... the Chelsea sides over the years, they're always strong defensively. They all know what they're doing. They're all in the same positions. And it's a solid machine. At the moment, it doesn't look nowhere near that.
And you're back with us on Sons of Pitches, everybody. Woohoo!
Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid. Alright, so first week of November.
Why are you celebrating? Your enemy won.
Yeah. I've come to terms with the fact that they are the better team right now. Hey man, at least I'm not living in denial unlike some people. Oh, this is our year. This is our year, yeah?
The person you're trying to talk to is not here today.
Itulah babi
so there's no point trying to come up with that kind of banter.
Speaking of not being here today, Henry unfortunately can't be here today for this week's podcast because he
went to Singapore to develop his stand-up comedian career.
Anyways, this evening is you're joined here today with me with CK and Johan. Hey.
Sup?
Hey. Alright, so this week we're gonna be looking into we're not gonna look into the League One much. Nothing much happened, same old. But we've got a couple of surprising results that we're going to be going into. So, without further ado, shall we start with La Liga, guys?
Yo!
Hala Madrid, yeah.
Yo.
So, last weekend in particular, Madrid lost to the newcomers, Girona.
This is our first part of the series celebrating Madrid's defeat. Actually, I don't really see it as a celebration. It's kind of sad to see the Champions League winners and La Liga winners in their current state. I don't know how to describe it.
It's giving me the same feelings like
Leicester.
Not Leicester, but Terrapins, a team in the Selangor Champions League, which again we'll be talking a little bit about.
The dynamics. The dynamics is totally different.
Hey, you can't blame me, okay? That's the only football I've been watching for the past 2 months.
But I would say Girona, they didn't exactly start off well. They were a bit shaky in the first 15 minutes. I mean, Madrid definitely were more dominant in the start, but I would say Zidane got his tactics totally wrong. So because they didn't have Bale, Zidane actually had to switch to a 4-4-2 system. I've never seen Madrid play a 4-4-2 system before.
I don't think Madrid knows how to play 4-4-2.
I don't think, yeah, exactly. So they put Ronaldo and Benzema up front without Bale, and then instead he bloated midfield with people like Casemiro, Isco and Modric. There was a problem with that tactic because even though Ronaldo and Benzema were ahead of their game, they will always be one step ahead on the midfield, trying to retain possession. Support would come late. So what happens is you have 2 men playing against 4 men, when instead in 4-2-3-1 you have 2 extra men playing against a 4-man defense.
So basically what you're saying right now is Madrid is lacking that depth for them to cope whenever any one of their first team.
They're lacking support on the wing. So usually you need a target man, and then there will be always crosses from the left and right, which Ronaldo and Bale typically do. So Benzema acts as the target man. Right now they don't have Bale. They're relying on support from the center, whereas support from the wing comes in late.
Again,
so
meaning that Madrid right now is very reliant on their wings.
Yes, it's very delayed because Madrid is a team that plays with width, and without this width, everything just goes out of place. It basically becomes disorienting to watch, which is why you could see Girona very easily defending against Madrid because they were quite easy to mark. And then as the game went on into the second half, into the final 15 minutes, the momentum built up to the point where Madrid lapsed concentration at the back and Girona exploited it. That was how it all happened.
Well, I feel like Madrid is a very aging squad already, as what I can say.
I kind of disagree with that sentiment though, because they brought in Theo Hernandez and Ceballos for a reason. But the problem with Theo Hernandez is a left back. Alright, Marcelo already occupies that position, so there is no need to bring in Theo in Zidane's point of view unless Marcelo is injured.
Yeah.
So you have another person who's Ceballos. Ceballos plays as a CM. He is not a winger. What they need right now is a new Bale. Where are they going to find a new Bale?
Reiterate what I said was, I haven't finished what I said. I was going to say aging squad, and those players are permanent spot players, meaning that they are
irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Permanent
for a while.
Sorry, I had to do
Because
that.
if you are expected to fill the shoes of this person that is complete, I mean, like, make them Madrid champions, and you're gonna fill their shoes, and the pressure is there, right, for youngsters to come in to actually come in and play with the same system.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Madrid has been the team that always buys players that can fill up those kind of shoes. How many people have we seen from Madrid that's actually grown up in their academy?
Rafael Varane played a very crucial role in this game.
Other than
the
Varane,
first half,
Varane.
he was the pillar. I'm just trying to reiterate my point. He was the pillar to their defense.
I understand.
And then he had to come off because of an injury, and Nacho Fernandez came on, and he was the one who was the culprit to everything.
But again, after Varane, anyone else that you can name off?
Raul.
Raul was so far back then. But again, at the very gist of it, at the end of it all, we can see Madrid buys the players. And right now, it's Zidane's do or die. He either has to buy them or buy them in the upcoming transfer window, or maybe it's the time for him to change the system.
He played a young right back though, Ashraf Hakimi.
Oh wait, isn't he the same player that played the week before? The one that we were giving praise on 2 weeks ago. But again young players, how many times do you think they can shine with that kind of brilliance? I mean,
I don't think it's right to just shrug them off and say that Madrid can't produce good youth players, because they have in the past. You can't dismiss their position as a major league contender.
No, I'm not dismissing.
They still have a good youth system.
Again, I'm not
Occasionally
dismissing them
they can produce
fully.
good talents.
Which I'm saying, like, players like Ronaldo and everything, they are stars in the team already.
Okay.
And how are you going to replace them with young players?
But you have to one way or another.
Yeah.
You have to. That's
Spurs
correct.
came from that background. Kane came up. Dele Ali came up.
Yeah. So that's why all I'm saying is they already hit that point where they have to change the players already.
Yeah,
Because the players are already aged.
Actually, now that I think about it, I kind of have to agree with you on this. It's time for a tactical change, or just a change in Madrid needs to come. Even later on when we go into the UCL talks, that you can see how badly that they're suffering right now because of all of this. Now, speaking about the UCL, guess what team last beat Madrid in the group stage with a big margin? Juventus. Alright? And that's the next game we're going to be covering.
What?
Juventus was the last team to beat Madrid with a big margin in the group stages, which was 2-0.
When was this?
2008.
That was
I know, I dug this
That was
out.
the worst way to segue into a
I didn't know how to segue this. You didn't want to lead.
What the
This is how I'm going to lead this. Anyways, next up we're going to go into this.
Sell.
Oh, shut up. We're going to go into the Serie A, where we saw AC Milan play against Juventus. Juventus coming out as the winners here. 2-0. AC Milan not showing any form of improvements over the last few games.
I think as much as we give Juventus shit for not showing up this season.
We've been shitting on AC Milan the whole time though.
Yeah, I know. We shit on Juventus too, especially Henry. Henry shits on
Okay, that's fair. Henry
shits on
does. Henry
Juventus
does.
all the time. Like, somehow he just doesn't want the old lady to win. It's called the old lady. Juventus, they showed the difference in class lah. Yes, AC Milan can be that team that splashes a lot of cash in trying to buy in
still,
talents.
but
still they lost to a team that has class. That could be attested from how Gonzalo Higuain actually scored those 2 goals.
I mean,
those
this
were
is
2 very phenomenal goals. He was tracked very, very closely by Milan's defenders, and he still scored from 30 yards out. I don't know how he did that, but that shows us his
This is
quality as a striker.
Higuain showing that he's still relevant.
Yeah, he's
not out of the game yet, and look at what he did.
Yeah,
I have to agree. This was one of his better performances this season, because I did remember 2 weeks ago when I was last on the pod, Henry was again shitting on Higuain. I don't remember which Juventus game that was, but I remember they lost that game.
I have to say, Montella as a coach, he has no idea what he's doing. He reminds me of Coleman. In fact, for that fact, Conte, because he doesn't play with a consistent set of players, which we've repeatedly talked about before, and he insists on using a 3-5-2 system, which doesn't work with Milan. In this game, he was playing against a 4-man midfield, and he had 3 men at the back. Of course, you're going to lose to Juventus, especially when your players are inexperienced.
With their pace and everything, right?
They do not have the experience of playing together yet as a team, and you're going up against a Juventus team that has won title and title and title.
One after another, yeah.
As a unit. So, of course, you're going to lose. So, how was it acceptable for him to put up a 3-5-2 lineup? And again, Leonardo Bonucci was missing. He didn't have the luxury of picking him because he was sent off. He's serving a 2-match ban from his previous game against Genoa.
Fair enough.
So at the back there's no leadership, and then you're bloating midfield with players who cannot make impact at all, and up front you have Suso and Kalinic struggling to score. Basically the whole system is ineffective. because there's no man in front to support. In midfield, it's just a lot of resources, but they're all put to waste. And then at the back, you don't put in any reinforcements to Mark Juventus. In every single department, he failed. He made a mistake in every fucking department. So that, to me, that is how they lost. And I want to point out one fact as well. I did some research, and Milan, basically, the rationale behind splashing over 300 million euros on players this season was to make sure that they can qualify for the Champions League next season. So they're putting all their eggs in a basket here.
Yeah.
They want to qualify for Champions League so that they can get that revenue from the tickets next season. If they don't do that, they will be having a hard time trying to balance the books next season. They've already come out and announced that they will end their Adidas partnership early so that they can start a new partnership with Puma. So things are not looking good for that revival project at AC Milan. To me, the owners need to make a decision. Montella needs to be sacked. They need someone who can bring in ideas on how to gel these teams together. They are short of ideas. They're not short of talent.
Here's a question that kind of popped into my mind while we were talking about all of that. Not to sidetrack it too much, but who would you choose over the other? Montella or Van Gaal?
Both not. There are a lot of managers out there who are available right now. Ancelotti, Tuchel, you know.
Okay, fair.
All these managers are out there. So why not bring them in?
So long story short, basically Montella fucked up the game with all of his decisions.
He's Coleman. Same situation as Coleman. Was given the luxury of buying in players, doesn't know how to use them.
So you wanted to say something?
Nah,
CK?
that was just bad. I was just like, the amount of time that he actually put into to kill that guy off.
No. Mate, you gotta agree though, because we've been seeing AC Milan's performance being very lackluster despite all
I'm
the
not the
spending
one
they've
saying
been doing.
352 doesn't work to them, you know. It's the pundits and the experts that say that it doesn't work with them.
Which again, it's very obvious they're not performing right
Because
now.
352 is a very delicate tactic. You need very experienced players to be able to execute it.
I would say that
There are only few teams, I would say, in the European world of football right now, capable of executing a three-man defense.
I would say that 3-5-2 can only be executed if you have wingers that are able to cover.
Yes,
as
if you have very
fullbacks.
effective wingbacks. United can play three-man at the back. Spurs can play three-man at the back. Chelsea
I
occasionally.
feel so triggered when you said Spurs. Fuck.
Chelsea a bit difficult for them because it's becoming predictable with how they execute 3-5-2.
Yeah, Arsenal
But
also
with
occasionally.
Milan, you can't ask a team that has never played together to suddenly play such a difficult tactic. That's the problem with 3-5-2. So go back to the conventional four-man defense, because it's much safe.
No, at the end of it, the team just needs to be able to, gel up their chemistry better, to be able to understand each other better, and
Yeah, and they need a new
Fuck them,
manager.
yeah.
They need a
Fuck
new
the
manager
new
who
manager
can
lah.
guide them. That's all.
Alright, speaking about teams that have been getting new managers, let's go to the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich and Red Bull Leipzig. A game that...
Whoa, a lot has changed in the Bundesliga this week.
Wait, it's so painful. It's actually really painful for me because honestly, I didn't expect this game to go that way. But this is the second time in 2 weeks Bayern has been playing Red Bull.
Back to back.
So Bayern Munich against Red Bull Leipzig. Bayern Munich won this game 2-0. A very clinical game for them, if you ask me, because I think they came into this game after a penalty shootout win against Red Bull Leipzig. In both games, a player from Leipzig has gotten red carded. And in the first game, it was Naby Keita, who is still under suspension right now.
Best player.
And in this game, it was Willy Orban.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Willy Orban is one of their defenders.
Okay.
So he plays centre back. And when he got that red card, okay, typically what would you do as a manager if you get a red card? Fill out the defense, right?
Switch up defense, take off a striker. Or
Yeah, typically that's what people do. Unfortunately, Hassan Hattel, he didn't switch off anyone, not until they fucked up. But yeah, he
So
still
they
kept on with
played
the...
he played with the remaining selection
Yeah, he played with the 3-4-2. Got punished lah, because we know...
against Bayern.
Yeah, against Bayern. I mean, sure, some people will call it an all-in offense. You're going all out, nothing to lose. But
You are playing away, not home.
exactly, I was thinking the same thing. It's not really that smart. There is no advantage for you. There's a full-on advantage for them. And you have to remember, this is a team that can, they punish you so easily for all the small mistakes that you make.
Must have had a hard time walking because his balls are big.
Fuck. What the fuck? Are you saying his balls are big because he did that?
Yeah.
You motherfucker. Okay, Bayern actually went into this game after finding out that Dortmund lost, which is a game that we'll be talking after this. Dortmund actually lost the game before they went into this game. So they knew that this was the perfect opportunity for them to overtake Dortmund. They knew that they needed the 3 points. They outclassed Leipzig. And well, I would say this is the effect of having that new manager.
Oh,
Yeah,
Has he
you-
changed anything in terms of tactics?
Honestly, they're playing the same tactics, the
Okay.
same formation. It's just the players are playing with more vigor now. It looks like they're really into it. They're spirited.
So I guess it's true lah. Ancelotti was really laid back as a manager.
I would assume so,
He
because
didn't really encourage the players to go for glory and stuff like that.
no, that's the thing though. We can't assume that. I mean, we're talking about
Ancelotti with his record, you say that?
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I wouldn't say Ancelotti is among the top tiers of managers.
Sure.
Yeah, I would put Pep and Mourinho up there. Probably he would come in third lah. But who remembers third place?
Okay.
And that is a fair argument. I mean,
Yeah.
do you remember who the
Who
fourth
remembers
person
third
on the
place?
moon was?
Unless you're Arsenal lah, we always remember your fourth.
If you guys don't know, I'm flipping Johan off right now. Just saying. Anyways, this was Bayern who was playing without Kingsley Coman. But yeah, they were able to read Leipzig's game. Leipzig's passes, everything. All of them were very easily cut. And it's a shame lah. Now that we're done with that talk set, we're going to go into the other game that I mentioned earlier. The Hannover Borussia Dortmund game. One of the best games I've watched this year.
No one take cheap hot shots at puns here, okay?
Okay.
No one do it.
Okay, no. We'll make a pact that will only make puns when Henry is around, okay?
Okay.
Cool,
Go ahead.
cool. Alright, anyways, Hannover won this game 4-2. And when I first heard this, honestly, I was at a loss for words.
So, okay, what's going on with Dortmund right here? I mean, they've been going downhill ever since that 3-1 loss to Spurs in the Champions League.
I would say that they're actually very demoralized right now because over the past 3 Bundesliga games, they've not managed to get a win.
Why?
No idea why. I legit, honest to goodness, have no idea why. I've been reading a lot and I still can't pinpoint on what's
do you
wrong
think-
with them right now.
What would your theory be, your personal hypothesis?
Okay, my personal hypothesis is that at this current point of time, Dortmund, they had the stress of being first on the table. You have to remember this is the
They started
Bundesliga.
off the season with a bang.
Correct. So the thing about starting off with a bang is that you eventually fizzle out at one point
Is
or
it
another.
because they're young? They don't have that mental tenacity to...
I wouldn't say that because their average team age right now is 25 years old, yeah? So it's not that young.
Which is young. Because Valencia also has one of the youngest squad in the La Liga and it's 25. The average age is 25. 25 is considered young.
Yeah, but again-
You only have 1 or 2 players who are aged.
We're talking about
Aubameyang probably, yes. That Greek... Socrates is that one guy.
But again, we're talking about Bundesliga right now. The Bundesliga's average age at most for them is what, 26? 25 isn't that far away.
Yeah, I know, but all of these younger players are only starting to show up this season because Peter Bosch is handing them their chance.
And no, it's not just for Dortmund.
Then Axel Zagadou.
That is okay.
I mean, like, Dortmund always has been the team that plays young players all the time. If you're saying that young players is not performing in this league, I beg to differ because it takes time to age. I mean, those.
No, I mean
things, right?
exactly what I mean. When you are young, when you lose 1 or 2 games, you become demoralized.
Yeah.
And if you don't get a win, until you get a win, your confidence won't come back.
Those are the kind of players that in football, youngsters nowadays is
Because football
they
is
need
team play, ma. You
instant-
cannot say that just because I have 1 or 2 age players, experienced players, seasoned players, then we will pull through. Because ultimately it boils down to crucial roles. If you have a very young player playing a very crucial role like a CM for instance, and he doesn't perform because he lacks the confidence together with the team, everyone else doesn't perform, then you won't churn out the result.
I guess that's fair because in this game, a few changes that they made over the past few games. He put in Dan Axel, Zagadou, Socrates got to play again, and also Jürgen Schmelzer. So again, I don't know. Okay, I think I could accept the theory that perhaps it's the whole age mentality thing, talking about how they need to be able to bounce back from a loss or multiple losses in this case. But I would say that this is also another thing about Hannover too. Hannover is a team that legit outclassed Dortmund in this game because of the fact that the way
were
they
just
played.
promoted,
Yeah, the way they played was clinical counter-attacking football.
Okay.
Their defenses was really good. But you know what stat actually shocked me the most?
What, goals on target?
Shot on goals and goals on target. Hannover had 13 shots on goal and Dortmund had 10 shots. 13 shots was for Hannover, 10 shots for Dortmund, 7 on target for Hannover with 4 on target.
Now you know how I feel when I reiterate stats,
Yeah, boy.
Now you know how I feel,
But here's the thing.
Trouble remembering,
Here's the thing. Dortmund had 66% possession.
There's no
Possession
point
mean
if you can't
anything.
finish. That's the thing.
Correct.
Yeah,
No point, you
so
can't finish.
it's kind of like that Arsenal-Liverpool thing where they can only have possession and without scoring lah.
It's Liverpool thing.
It's okay. We're not talking about Liverpool. We're not talking about Liverpool this
sing the same
episode.
anthem.
We're not talking about that this episode.
Both Dortmund and Liverpool sing the
But yeah, I think this game was a pretty good game. A lot of end-to-end plays. Overall, it was Dortmund's game to lose. Dortmund just imploded and something needs to be done about it lah, basically. This defeat actually means that Dortmund has not won any of their last 3 Bundesliga matches and it let Bayern go up.
Yeah,
Easily.
they're level on points right now, right?
23. Bayern is up by 3
Goal
points.
difference.
Wow.
Okay.
Bayern is up by 3 points. Third is RB Leipzig with 19.
It's very hard lah with a young team.
Hanover is at 4th with 18 points.
That's why I think you have to give props to Guardiola.
Oh, definitely.
For the job that he's doing at City. He's managing a very, very young team. And and they are fucking scary. Speaking of Manchester, let's move on to the red side of Manchester.
Fucker, he wanted to do it by himself. Chibai. Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about the red side of Manchester. Let's talk about the United Spurs game. United won this 1-0. A very
Close
small
match.
margin.
I think
Close match.
I didn't watch this match, but I watched the highlights and I
What the
read the
fuck?
commentaries.
Okay, you not watch this match.
I was busy.
Okay.
I've worked for
Fine.
Selangor Champions League.
Fine.
I would say Mourinho is give him all the shit that you want, right? He's fucking smart.
Okay.
He's fucking smart.
Okay, honestly, despite
This is the first time this season Mourinho has played with a 3-4-1-2 formation.
Yes.
He basically copied Tottenham. I think his instructions to the players were, okay, right now we are using a duplicate formation. Every one of you, the opposing team, if he's playing in your position, he's your enemy. Mark them down, track them. Don't give them a chance to handle the ball. And because Kane wasn't playing, he was
Yes.
out because of an injury. This tactic worked
Perfectly.
tremendously effectively. If Kane was there, I think United would have been in trouble.
who played in Kane's position? Sana.
He put Son and Ali up there. Yeah. So what happened?
You Spurs. I mean,
So
yeah,
what
continue.
you saw in the first half is midfield got no play. You know, there's no passing or trying to be a playmaker doing his thing or whatnot. Herrera coming in to disrupt.
So basically-
actually Herrera disrupted as usual.
As usual.
But Matic didn't do what he usually does.
So basically, what you're saying right now is that Spurs legit just got their game just
No,
got.
Mourinho outclassed Pochettino tactically.
Tactically, yeah.
Yes, Mourinho is a very. That's why I say Mourinho is very smart.
Mourinho
Because-
and Pep are both
because
fuckers, yeah.
because he knows that Spurs plays pace.
No, 'cause-
so the thing is to mark every single player, close them down, and make sure that there is no speed. That's why you saw no creativity at all in midfield. It was a very
Exactly.
if you wanted action from this game, if you wanted excitement and thrill from this game, I'm sorry you didn't get that because there was none of that in this game. It was just basically man to man, physical.
Until the
See
second
who is
half.
stronger.
I mean, so this is basically whatever I've been saying about Mourinho, lah. Despite how dirty his tactics have been before this, it's still tactical play. What wins you the game, wins you the game.
Yes, he will do whatever it takes to make sure they either draw or get the 3 points.
Are you happy with this?
No.
Why not? What the fuck?
Because it wins us trophy, but we lack that. I used to enjoy watching Ferguson's team play because they played very
With
attractive
players'
football.
performance, right? This is manager's performance, This is them playing tactical mind games with each other. Feel like it was a beautiful game.
I think our first game against West Ham that resembled a bit of the Ferguson days. The performance we put up during that match. But Mourinho will never go with that one same tactic. That's what makes him different from other managers. Conte stubborn, Klopp stubborn.
Don't even talk
Arsene
about
Wenger.
Wenger. Don't even talk about Wenger.
Stubborn.
I knew it.
They will always use the same tactics, but Mourinho, no, I will not let you get to me.
Okay, fair. Okay, last question before we end this talk set, yeah? What about the rumors about Kane going to Madrid? What do you think about that?
Possible.
Sounds
You can
like-
say
seems
highly
like-
possible. Sooner or later.
I mean, Madrid has been buying a lot of the what's called stars from Spurs, what?
Okay, fine. What I'm gonna say is, if Tottenham wins the Champions League or
Hey, I hope you curse it.
No.
I say if.
Spurs needs to win a major
Yeah.
silverware to keep Kane.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Okay. I hope they don't win then.
So that's why I say I specifically said pyramid. I didn't say. I say Champions League. Champions League is a bigger trophy right now for them because they have never gone through group stage. I mean knockout stages. So this is the squad that I'm gonna see at least gone to semis at least for Tottenham for Champions League.
Yo, you know what I find the most interesting about this Spurs squad? It's an English core.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a very,
They don't rely on any foreign players. They rely mostly on their English players,
I
which
wouldn't
amazes
say
me, lah.
not entirely lah.
Yeah, I know not entirely,
Two
but
Belgian players at the back. That itself already gives you a solid.
But the forwards are mostly English calls.
yeah, you rely on the Ali Kane chemistry to work lah.
There's another player that I feel like needs to be mentioned.
Sergio Aurier.
No, Harry Wing. He's a young player.
Okay, we talk about wings later. We have a part for him later. Don't worry
Okay,
about it.
fine.
Don't worry about it. We have a part for him later.
Okay, shall we move on to the next talk set?
Let's move on to West Brom against Manchester City 2-3. I don't know why Johan put this in, but Johan, do oblige me. Why is this game in the talks in the?
No, I just thought it would be fun to talk about City for a while. We haven't been talking about
Yeah,
it for quite some
so,
time. And
You haven't been talking about Arsenal for quite
midweek
some
in
time.
the Carabao
bitch.
Cup, they actually needed a penalty shootout to overcome Wolves with a first team lineup.
City.
Mind you, yeah, with a first team lineup. I mean,
Against
some of-
Wolves?
Yeah, some of the major players were playing. Aguero was playing.
Oh, shit.
It happens, this kind of things.
Okay.
They will just shock you out of nowhere,
I mean,
Some boogie teams will come out. Can't say like this team will win every single game,
Exactly.
I mean, they're not there yet. Like we said it just now. They're still a very young team. What?
You didn't say yesterday when we lost to Huddersfield, but never mind. Continue.
Jangan nak mengada lah. Kau ni emo.
So in this game, despite the scoreline, City actually dominated the whole game, right? It was just lapse of concentration and also judgment of playing the ball, which led to West Brom scoring 2 goals. For City, right, their front looks very terrifying because they're all fucking young.
Yes.
Except Aguero.
I want to trigger Henry here, including Sterling as well.
Sterling.
Sterling is developing as a player.
Under Pep, exactly.
Yes, he would have never developed into this stage with Liverpool.
With Sané and actually with Sterling, right? These two playing wing, it's so threatening.
And De Bruyne at the back as well, in the middle.
These are all star players, you know.
They are opening up space. They're basically dismantling their opponents, you know, opening up space. So even if you try to close down spaces, it's useless. It's useless. You will have to open up spaces eventually because of these players.
Okay, sorry.
So with all these young players, right? Pep is actually having a future plan for City, grooming them slowly to become one of the most lethal English squad in the future. You will see City probably be on top 4 for a very long time, I would say. Right. So West Brom is very unfortunate, I would say. They had chances to even up the score, but West Brom being West Brom.
Jesus, Pep.
There are a lot of things that keep me awake, so that's why I rely on West Brom to put me to sleep.
So,
really, okay. I thought it was the fact that you're
enough with the
City. Anyways,
enough with the attacking side of City, right? But the defending side is very laid back, I would say.
So they still need work on because they
still ultimately, right?
There's the similarity with Liverpool and City here, I was gonna say, right? They have very little front, but the back is still weak. But the problem is City is scoring in front, and Liverpool is like, sometimes I want to score. The back four, right? Despite them can score goals, I mean defenders scoring goals, this is a rare thing, I would say, right? But this back four really questionable sometimes. Sometimes they can clearly clear the ball, they didn't.
I mean, is the back four young? They're quite young.
John Stones, Otamendi, Kyle Walker.
Alright, Walker went there.
Yeah. So all these players, I don't know lah. We can give shit about Lovren doing all this shit, right? But nobody is giving shit to Otamendi and also John Stones sometimes.
Because at the end of the day, you know why? Because it's so much more fun to shit on Liverpool.
But I'm not saying, it's like, even though you're losing 0-2, right? You have your attacking squad shouldn't be demotivated. You should score as well. That's where this front four, I'll say, front 5, 6 or whatever in the City's team, they don't get demotivated even though the score is like against them.
And because Pep is a very good motivator, we've seen him do that at Bayern against Kimmich.
I mean, even back then when he was in Barcelona, remember that interview they had with Henry?
Yeah, how he pushes the players. This is a guy who's very passionate about football. So let's look forward to the Manchester derby, man.
Correct.
I was talking to Izam just now. Before we transition to the next talk set, I was talking to Izam just now. I explicitly said Mourinho has the capability to turn something as exciting as this into a boring game.
But at the same time, Pep has the capability of
reversing that Mourinho effect.
Yeah, correct. So again, okay, fine, fair enough. We'll look forward to the Manchester derby. But before we can go there, let's go into the Champions League. We've seen Roma play against Chelsea. The only 2 games we're covering is Roma against Chelsea, and also that stupid game where Spurs won against Real Madrid.
Hey, they did well, okay?
Before
Arsenal will never achieve that in 1,000 years.
Before we humble Isham with a Spurs game that he has to talk about, we're going to be talking about the AS Roma against Chelsea game where Chelsea lost 3-0. I wasn't able to catch the highlights for this game either. So, Johan, can you take the lead on this one? Tell me more about this.
3 Higuain-esque goals for the game.
What? Higuain-esque?
That's Hawaii's goal.
What? That fucking opening goal or something else. I think Conte has to bear at least 60% of the blame for this loss.
Okay, how come?
Again, he got his tactics wrong. It's like telling me Milan played 3-man against Juve. Same thing here. You are going to Italy away and you're playing 3-man at the back again. And against Roma,
it's always
a very
paid.
You are playing against a team. Front 3 is already very scary. Okay, you have Nainggolan, Kolarov. These are players who like to go up front and attack.
Yeah, don't forget Nainggolan has the body of a beast.
You know your team has had trouble trying to defend this season, and yet you still insist to play with the
complete.
I'm just starting to think. I was trying to process why Conte consistently uses 3-man. Is it because he doesn't know how to operate a 4-man defense?
No, I don't think so.
He's comfortable with it.
He's comfortable with 3-man defense.
The players,
being
manager,
comfortable doesn't translate to you winning game. You know, your job as a manager is to win games. It's not to make your team comfortable.
Okay, so what I'm gonna say here is losing Matic, right? It's like losing a fucking big hole in the midfield.
I mean, Neville actually said whoever thought it was a good idea to sell Matic should be sacked. Yeah.
It's like,
Fair. I mean, look at how Matic has been playing so far.
if you see Matic play last season, right? The 5-man midfield is damn strong. He has someone to cover all the time. That's what I'm saying. You know, Matic
Someone
play
tall
back.
and someone short.
Kante always move forward.
Black too.
Okay, this 5-man midfield plays a very good role, right? But when you take out the big guy in there, the whole system is flawed already.
But they brought in Bakayoko to replace him.
Is Bakayoko better
Is he
than
that
Matic?
kind of let's not talk about whether he's that kind of player, but is he capable of being that kind of player?
No, I don't think so. Matic
Even as
is
a young player right
unique
now.
on his own. Matic, I'll say, don't be so happy. I feel like fuck, we got Matic.
No, continue. I'm not happy.
He's like that kind of
I
player
genuinely
that
want to discuss
you
this.
really need at the back. Even though, I mean, like, he can dismantle plays very easily. He's big, he's tall, he can, aerial view, he can steal the ball as well.
So he's a compliment to what Conte does then, basically.
No, he was the pillar at the back. Basically, that's it.
He's like-
Without him, not only are they not able to approach the opponent, they're exposed at the back as well.
No, again, he was a compliment to what Conte did because of the fact that Conte was the one who also helped a lot in opening up plays. Matic being there gave Chelsea that comfort
No, the
of
thing
being
is
able to
because-
rely on him.
Because Kante is short, so
Kante is the kind of guy
he's
that
very clever, but he's short. So with a bit more physicality, you can actually defeat him, but not with Matic.
He can't take a high ball.
Yes.
not only high
No,
ball.
I'm serious. True.
I just made a pun.
What's the pun?
Can't take a high ball.
Oh, okay. Pretty bad pun to take.
It's fine. They're just as bad as yours, but
Cheaper than Hanover. Yeah, there's really nothing much to talk about. I mean,
Besides all three
I still
goals are
think
so
I still
fucking
think Conte doesn't. It's not because he's comfortable. He doesn't know how to operate four men at the back.
all right.
Do you think he should be sacked?
No.
Conte?
Yeah.
No, but what he needs to do right now is just to change his tactics. That's it. He can't keep on relying on 3-5-2.
I mean, we've been saying that for a long time already. You cannot rely on the same tactics, but I mean,
You know why isn't he doing it? If you know it's not going to work anymore, why don't you change?
he needs to find not only a back person that actually can mix it for. I'm saying that the upfront also. I mean, Morata is losing his touch really as well. I feel.
I guess I think it's also.
His morale also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Morel.
but
The
perhaps
top
it's
team-
also because there's no one questioning Conte right now.
Yeah, because he win the cup last season. So.
Alright, I guess that's it. But speaking about a team that no one has been questioning their morals or stuff, let's go to Tottenham and Real Madrid. Oh, this hurts me physically.
3-1. What a game. Come Harry Wings.
Harry Winks, such a young player.
I'll
such
let
a
you
good
talk about Harry
talent.
Winks first.
Such a good talent, I'll say. He is how old? 21.
The very early 20s, that's all I remember.
Yeah.
But for me, the thing that struck out for me the most about Harry Winks was he is one of the calmest player I've ever seen at that age, at a very young age. He was
control
able
the midfield.
Okay, on a football field, you're gonna listen to your coach screaming at you. You're gonna have your other players screaming at you to pass the ball, to grab the ball. The fact that he was able to pass on demand to anyone that was open to open up space, and the fact that he can legit just turn and receive a ball within a moment's notice is commendable.
In a match of this magnitude.
Correct, and he was able to keep that cool throughout the whole game.
He did it in the first leg as well. I mean, the first game with Madrid.
The one where they drew 1-1 at the Bernabeu.
Exactly. He's the kind of player that doesn't play attacking, but he wants to control the midfield.
Another Matic in the making.
I don't think so. I'll say this guy
Carrick?
is more like a Carrick is more an attacking player, I feel. Right?
Okay.
This player would
Yaya Toure. No, Yaya Toure is a very good CM. Someone like
someone
Xavi,
holds the
Xavi.
midfield very well.
Modric.
I was gonna say Alonso, but Alonso isn't that. It's more of like a Lucas, I would say.
Okay. Wow, he's actually a class of his own.
Yeah, he's the kind of player that doesn't really. He tried to.
Because we can't find, we don't know how to associate him.
No, I thought you were being sarcastic. That's why I was
No,
staring
no,
at
I'm
you like
serious.
that. Hey man, I can't tell your
But
tone at
you
times.
very hardly see us. I would say I'll call him a CDM more than a CM, but he plays at the CM position. Right, but for him, he controls the play. He doesn't look for opportunities straightforward, like really run through the ball. He really looks from the side first. Oh, I see an opening on the side. I'll pass it to the side.
Okay, so here's one last question I want to ask you guys. Yeah, something that was in my mind when I was writing this up. This hurts me again to ask, but is this the result that shows that Spurs are a contender? Like, is this?
I mean, we've been saying this for the past 2 seasons.
Okay.
Since Pochettino has been in charge.
So now this is the main thing. You guys think they can go all the way?
Yeah, I
say
think
yes.
they can. I think they can.
I say can.
I think they definitely deserve to win a silverware this season. Yeah.
I think
It was unfortunate that they got knocked out of the Carabao Cup. The FA Cup hasn't started yet in January, but in terms of Champions League, their performance so far, I mean, they've denied all the naysayers. We thought that they would die in this group of death.
Okay, so
turns out they're the best team so far.
So
I guess
Tottenham is
that's
the
fair.
kind of team that nobody pays attention. I mean, like, they sell their best players to get players that nobody knows of and slowly build from there. They sell Modric, they sell Bale. This is what teams needs to do. I mean, like, when you hit a roadblock and you have a lot of what they call
I also think they're very lucky to have a player like Kane and Ali.
Eriksen
To have two young talents appear at the same time and peak and perform at the same time is something that you rarely see.
But here's the thing, this game wasn't just a two-man show, three-man show.
it was a team.
Okay,
Yeah, it was team play,
It was
yes,
a team
it
play,
was team
and
play.
I have to say that Kane wasn't really that much of a vital presence in this game. Vertonghen, Harry Winks, Trippier, all of them just, I don't know. I think
Which shows that Pochettino knows what he's doing. The only problem, Pochettino can be the next Pep. He can be the next Mourinho. He just needs time to learn the psychological
Oh my
warfare
God, I
of
feel
being a football manager.
so physically hurt by this talk set.
The only problem with Tottenham, right, is when Harry Kane is injured, who's
They have
gonna-
no one to finish for them, yeah.
Nobody is going to be up front.
They need a
That's
striker.
the only
yeah.
problem they have.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they've not had a decent
but
striker
Dele
in years, you know.
Dele Alli was the one that scored the most in this game.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, but you need Kane to be there
Yeah.
to complete the trio, the holy trinity.
Okay, fair enough. So no, that's true. Meaning that
it's true.
people will be focusing more on Kane rather than Ali.
Yeah.
Because Tottenham has been stumbling upon this problem for quite a season really. They buy players that
Don't work out,
Yeah.
they've been experimenting, and now they finally found the perfect combination.
I wouldn't say perfect I would say like they're still finding for a replacement for Kane. Just in case anything happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Alright. So we're done with the UEFA Champions League. Fuck that league. Fuck Spurs. Let's go to this Lango Champions League.
Yes, Izam, take it away since you enjoy watching Selangor Champions League so much.
Hey, fuck lah. I'm actually legit in physical pain right now because of the fucking Spurs talk set. But okay, let's talk about this Lango Champions League. Okay, Monday we had a very interesting game. We had a bottom of the table game for Group B with Terrapins playing against SA United.
Terrapins actually deserve the win.
Yeah, Terrapins actually did deserve the win. Unfortunately, they didn't get the win because, well, I would say that they weren't clinical enough in front of goal and they missed a lot of their chances.
No mental tenacity too.
I guess that's true because I don't know. I think in terms of this Champions League
Didn't
this year,
they have a player sent off or something?
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did. The player who blocked the goal, he blocked the goal that was supposed to go in and gave away that penalty, which even in that situation I would have done because the penalty would have at least given them another chance to, stop the ball. But anyways, I think they've just been shafted throughout the whole season because with Axis coming in and them losing a lot of the players to Axis and, well, I don't know. It's just sad to see a champion
Speaking
fall
of
like this.
Axis,
Yeah, smart. Speaking of Axis,
they lost.
they lost against PIB.
PIB on the high right now.
The thing with PIB is the fact that last year what I said about PIB was they are a very defensive team. And the thing is, we can still see that. They have a good focus on their defense, but their attack just got so much better.
I think it's because of the new signing as well.
Yeah, I think Mamadou Berete is so crucial to them and he was really good. He's such a good player up front and he's very clinical with all his finishes. And yeah, can't say much about that. PIB is very lucky to have Berete to back them up at the attack. But another game that I would really want to talk about right now is the Fuerza and Level Up game.
Whoa! We actually have a major injury from this game.
Oh, that was
Which was very painful as well.
Okay, the bicycle. I saw the video footage of it because I've been editing the highlights. Oh my god, that. Okay, thing is, he could have gone for a header, he still went for a bicycle kick. This is a Fuerza player whose name I can't remember for the life of me right now, but he tried for the bicycle kick, landed very awkwardly on AstroTurf, AstroTurf some more. So you know how hard it is to land on that.
Okay,
very
let's
awkwardly landed.
Stop there, cause
I am gonna paint you the picture of how it looked like.
can feel
His
the
hand
pain.
was going in the. Okay, imagine this. You can
Just gonna
close your
scroll
hand
through
to
my
one way. It actually went the other way, and it almost went all the way to the other side. So that's how bad it was. Just looking at the picture makes you physically sick. A little bit controversial because of the 2 red cards that they got at the end.
Again, this goes back to our usual argument of how social league football players need to be more mature.
I don't think the fight was just because of the football players too. It was because of their fans egging everyone on. Their fans played a big role. These
I know.
Puchong-kias, I don't know.
My side of Puchong, I know.
Yeah, so Johan, you need to keep yourself in check. Hopefully people from your side keep themselves in check too. But
I
yeah,
want you to know that I'm not responsible for their behavior.
I didn't say you were, so why are you trusted right now?
Said we need to keep ourselves in check.
Last night, Antlers dropped points against Rebels because Rebel won 2-1 against 2-1 against Shalom Antlers. A game that I thought it was do or die for Antlers, and
I think you can put it in a sense where Antlers, this is their first season coming into the tournament. So you are playing against last year's finalists.
That game.
Mentally wise, tactically wise, confirm they know how to outclass you better. They know how to persist on, how to hang on to the game.
yeah, true. But we're talking about Antlers, a team that has so
I'm
much on the line.
We are
right
not
now,
dismissing the talent that is in Antlers. We've had this conversation multiple times about how Antlers. If you ask me how Antlers play compared to other teams, you look at how other teams play 15 minutes into the game, right? They no longer follow tactics anymore. They'll just pass the ball wherever they see it's viable.
Antlers on the other hand actually still
Antlers
follows
on the other
tactics.
hand actually plays with tactical discipline. The coach wants them to play in that position. The players will remain in that position. Yes, they are semi-pro, but at least they have the habit of doing that. That's how you win games when you go professional. So I would say Antlers is definitely capable of doing greater things.
Well, one thing's for sure. Next week is going to be their last game number 8 for them. And, well, it's not an easy team to win against. They're going to be going up against Clasico, who I feel has a really good, well-rounded team. But, again, this is a point now where even if Antler wins the game next week, their chances of qualifying is not in their own hands anymore. It is up to the other teams whether they're going to allow Antlers to go on or not. Because if they win, because, again, Group B, you have Empire still around there. Ultimate is... sorry, not Ultimate.
Ultimate has already qualified.
Ultimate qualified for Group A, my bad. But you still have Rebel, you still have PIB, you still have Axis.
Basically, aside from Ultimate going into the knockout stages, there is still a chance for every other team in both groups.
No. I don't think there's a chance for
most of the teams, you get the gist.
Yeah.
You know what I was saying.
Because of...
Don't be a dick.
Let me be a dick. We're talking about you here. Anyways, because of SA United's win, they are now at 7 points, and this gives them a good opportunity to still be able to get at least a top 4 finish, which is good for them. And with that, we're going to end the podcast for this week. Tonight I was supposed to be at the SL game, and well, thank God Johan pulled me here, but it's a good 2 games actually tonight. So let's look forward to how the teams are going to be playing. And
anyways, the knockout stages are coming soon. The group stages matches are going to end very, very soon as well. We're into week 7 already. So if you haven't come down to the Panasonic Sports Complex to catch a single game, do drop by and watch some of the games. I've been able to do that this whole entire season, which has been pretty fun. You actually get to watch proper football.
I mean, it's an interesting experience.
Yeah, it's an interesting experience. So do come down Mondays to Thursdays. The kickoff starts at 8:15. The last game ends at 11:15.
11-ish. 30 latest.
Yeah, around that time. So until
swear
next
it's
time.
11:30 latest.
Yeah, until next time when Henry comes back, this is Johan.
This is Ham.
And this is CK.
We're signing off. Loads of balls.
Loads of balls.